I want y'all to pay attention to what he's saying, because this is very, very important, and we're going to talk about it.
What is your point of reference to what a marriage is? How can I naturally know how to be something I was never raised by? You don't know what a wife is because you've never had the blueprint, a point of reference of what a wife is. In your mind, a wife is just getting a ring. That's not a wife.
All right. So he's already started it off. His first words was, what is your point of reference to what a wife is? If you have naturally, you don't know, and you've never seen it, how would you ever know how to be a wife? That is $1 million question. $1 million. And I'm saying this is because here in this space, here, this YouTube space, I'm teaching or trying to give women the tools on how to be a wife. And the wife that I'm teaching you all to be, it's not in the marriage. It's not that wife that is wanting or needing or requiring the ring. You know, it's not. It's the wife that has said yes to the purpose of being for her husband. It's the wife that has says yes to the covenant of marriage. It's that wife that has that relationship with God, the creator. Now, are you ready for that, ladies? I got to say it again, because I don't know if anybody heard. We're going to play it once more. But that's the wife that he's actually talking about. And that's the wife that will endure those things that will get you longevity. That's not the woman that first time something happened or she's having a bad day that she will run out on you. But it's husband included. It's not just the wife. Now, I'm talking to the women because he actually addressed the women. And y'all already know I address women because I'm a woman. And I just love talking to you all. In my years of being married, I have actually experienced some of these things. And I tell you all, I've told the story 1 million times. Coming into marriage, I was prophesied to 2 times that my job was to be a wife. The first time I was like, okay. I was just like, oh, I'm already doing that. I dismissed it because I didn't have any clue on what the person was saying. I didn't get it. The second time I heard it, it kind of like penetrated. And I was like, oh. You know, and then I started to research that by asking me and God in these conversations and in prayer, I'm supposed to be a wife. What does that look like? What am I supposed to do? And he took me back to the beginning, y'all. You know, he took me back to the beginning. And the beginning was, here's Adam, deep sleep, wife created from his rib. And then it starts to make sense. Me and my husband became one. I'm that wife. You're married with covenant. It ain't about you no more. This is all having to do with purpose. This is purpose now. So now it's beginning to make sense. So all these things that this blueprint this young man is talking about that is written inside this Bible, it begins to make sense because if done correctly, y'all, this thing is easy. If done correctly, but if not done correctly, it is very hard. And guess what? It goes back to the question. Who taught us how to do relationship and marriage? Because we've been living in straight dysfunction for at least 50 years. So anyway, I want Mr. Boss to go ahead and start it again, and then we're going to continue on.
Okay, what is your point of reference to what a marriage is? How can I naturally know how to be something I was never raised by? You don't know what a wife is because you've never had the blueprint, a point of reference of what a wife is. In your mind, a wife is just getting a ring. That's not a wife. Are you ready to mentally, spiritually, emotionally, sexually hold your man down?
Not many people or not many young people have that example. Now it's totally, acceptable to have one parent in the household. Some young people don't even have their fathers in the household. Some people don't even know who their fathers are. So who taught you relationship and marriage? I don't think that we're being taught right now. I think we're living in total dysfunction. But if you are truly an individual that wants to be married, that's something that you want to consult would be that blueprint. You want to know exactly what it takes. And it's, listen, crystal clear, emotional, spiritual, sexual. Are you willing? Are you ready to give all of that to your husband? In other words, this man just said submission. He really did. He didn't say the words, but he said, are you willing to do those things for your husband? And that is a requirement. That's one thing that we're required to do. Now, some women will kick back and be like, and what is he doing for me? He's doing all that for you also. He is. But we are living in so much dysfunction. The first thing we do is we fight against it. Listen, y'all, I recommend you don't marry somebody that you don't like. All I hear often so much hate, or how can I say it? Negative speech towards the spouse or towards the opposite sex. And it was ridiculous because I'm thinking, why are you speaking this way about your husband? Or why are you speaking this way about the woman that you're going to marry? Why would you speak that way about that person? I would say you get away from that person, because that's not the person you need to marry. The person you should be marrying is someone that you can adore, someone that you can submit to, someone that you definitely like and don't mind being around. And that is a major problem. I should call it dysfunction. Ladies, I'm going to call us out because I see and hear it mostly from us. I really, really do. And when I say that, it's like the Black man is always a negative. There's no good part or good anything about him. In order to be married to him for 28 years, and that's what I've done, it has to be very dramatic, or it has to have so much trauma, or he has to bring a lot of toxicity. But that hasn't been my life. And I've seen a lot of women in these spaces where that's not their life either. They have had good relationships with a Black man. But every time I mention it and I say, you know what, it's not that bad. It's not bad at all. Actually, it's like, you lying. So we have had so much dysfunctional relationships that have come before us that we know about, and people are willing to discuss, that every time someone mentions a relationship with a Black man, it's like total, it's got to be dysfunction. I mean, we got even women out here now actually saying this exactly, because women are supposed to be whole and men are broken. So men being broken, they have to be toxic, and we have to be in a relationship that is filled with toxicity and trauma. That's not the case, y'all. That's not how it is. When you speak of wholeness, that tells me that a person has no issues or what have you. And I don't think that person actually exists. I actually think once you get married, you're in a marriage to become better together. And the love that you all share with each other, the emotional love that you share with each other, tends to pull back or peel back all those things that you've gone through, those things that have grown you up.
Or is it just about getting a ring and being able to say, I's married now? This is not the color purple. This is reality. You don't have what it takes to be a wife. It's not just about the man. That's not the reason that marriages fail. They love to blame it the man. They love to say, he cheated on me, that's why it's over. I am bored out of my mind. I'm with you. Listen, I told this woman, if I was stranded I was so bored. Every time I went through the worst periods of my life on a personal level, this woman didn't know what to say or do to help me to get through. You were physically there, but I still felt alone. I said to her, if I was stranded on an island and they said you can take either a thing or a person, it wouldn't be you.
You told her that?
I told her that.
That's why
you
you
probably could have just brought it up.
That wasn't about tearing her down. Listen,
Okay.
I'm already on an island and I feel by myself. When you get in the most vulnerable, dark spaces in your life, when you're dealing with the roughest patches, your wife and your girl or whoever is supposed to be there to help you to get through. It's me and my baby. There's nobody else. You can't buy me nothing to fix this.
So when he is vulnerable, or when he needs to be vulnerable, he needs to be able to come to you. If he's not able to do so, that means that you all have not totally submitted to each other. You haven't. And what I would say is that means there's a lack of relationship. This is a lack of relationship. And the question is, who taught you how to do relationship? Because in a marriage relationship, this is where you actually get naked, if that makes sense. And I don't mean necessarily physically naked. I'm talking about emotional. You get vulnerable. You and your spouse are becoming one with each other, and you are open or submitting to whatever it is that he has to bring to you. And you are giving him whatever you have for him. Y'all are submitting to each other. If you go over to Ephesians, it will tell you that you submit to each other, husband and wife. We do. It's not one way. It's both directions. And this is how we do relationships. And your husband should never be in a relationship and feel vulnerable and feel like he's on an island alone because you're somewhere so into yourself that you can't feel him.